Now, you may have watched this video a bunch of times, but I'm going to go over some details you may or may not have seen. Now, we're going to go back and we're going to go frame by frame as much as we can so I can tell you everything that I'm observing right here. Now, we're going to start, obviously, with this individual with his head bent down, likely trying to avoid if there's any chance that there is a camera above this archway, because that would be a common place to put a security camera. And obviously, if you watch the way this person is walking, it seems clear to me that this is a male. Now, right there, they just caught that there is a Nest Cam. Now, the reason they didn't know this is because the Nest Cam looks unusual. That's part of the reason why I don't think that this is someone who has intimate familiarity with this house. I've heard people say, oh, it's somebody who knows it really well. I don't think so. That doesn't mean this person's never been to the house. They very well may have been there, but I don't think it's someone that knows the house well. So they're walking up and now they're trying to cover the camera. Most of us are familiar with the Ring doorbell cams. They're very square. They're very obvious. If you don't know the house that well, or if you've just cased it out, maybe you didn't get a close look at it, you might not have noticed this because it looks like a doorbell. Now, what's very obvious, I know everybody knows this at this point, but clearly this person is wearing gloves on top of other gloves. So these are nitrile gloves on top of probably what are leather gloves or nylon gloves or something like that. But clearly they are gloves on top of other gloves, which speaks to the size of this person. They've talked about this individual being an average build, 5'9", 5'10", and I think that they are 5'9" or 5'10", but with a fairly slim build. I think this is someone with smaller hands and feet. The feet look fairly small. What's happening right now speaks to a lack of experience. Somebody that would have more experience here would have known more of what to do. This person's halfway covering the camera. You get a couple of glances at their face. We can very clearly see what this person looks like a couple of times. So this is not somebody who is used to doing this. This is not somebody who is a professional thief, at least not one in this way. They're not a professional burglar. And they were looking right into the camera. It looked like they were trying to pull it off or trying to figure out how to get it off. Obviously, it's not so simple, so instead they've decided they're going to cover it up. So they're trying to cover it physically while they turn around because they're really not able to think through this. I don't think they understand the point of view of a Nest Cam very well. And immediately you see they're turning around and looking on the ground. What can I grab immediately to cover this? You see they're leaning over because it's dark out. They're probably not able to see very well. So they're leaning over to see, is there anything here? What this speaks to is a lack of familiarity with this environment. This isn't somebody who knows there's nothing there. Otherwise, they'd be hightailing it out to somewhere else to grab flowers, which he's going to do in a second. But this would be somebody who immediately went for that. This person's actually looking around. Is there a potted plant here? Is there something that I can use to cover this? See, that's someone who's actually searching. So the only chance that this would be somebody who actually knew the area, that knew this house well, would be that if there used to be something there, if a week ago they had things that were sitting there and they just got moved, then maybe you could say, well, this person was anticipating seeing something. I don't think so. I think this is somebody searching their environment who's never been there before or doesn't know it well. See, and looking to the left, seeing if there's anything to the left that's usable. But this person doesn't want to walk far. They don't want to have to go and find the perfect thing to cover this camera with, so they're going with whatever's closest to make sure they're not getting spotted. Because actively, I'm going to show you how we know they're thinking about whether or not anybody's looking at them right now. So he grabs a handful of flowers right there, looks over the left shoulder, and continues to walk forward. But they don't do anything right now to obscure their face. They're looking back to make sure nobody's watching. They're more concerned about who's watching right here versus getting spotted on this camera, which means they think they're not going to get recognized.